It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detecting Show. Hello, darling.
Hello, David. You all right? Hello, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Well, yeah, everyone's watching the soccer, I think. We've got quite a few in the chat, but I think a lot of people are watching the soccer.
Same old Gareth Southgate, nothing changes. England lose, blah, blah, blah.
It's funny, isn't it? I just lost a coil. I'm just look. It's all right. Found it. On my dad's one, I lost the coil, and I've just found it behind my desk. Don't quite know why, but yeah, that's good. Sorry, you've had a good week, haven't you, dear?
I've had a pretty mental week, really. Pretty mental. It's we have some news. We have quite a lot of news to go through. But yes, I've had a little lottery win in the syndicate I'm in at work today, which was very nice.
Oh, Philip.
Oh,
sorry. You've not got the book? It was posted. Oh, blinking mail of royal. I will make a note, Philip. It's probably been stolen because it's such a demand book. That was posted out on the Friday after the show, so I will get that checked. I think it's sent recorded delivery, so I'll have a look at that, Philip. Those who are watching who don't know, Philip won Advanced Detecting by the Norfolk Wolf on the show the other week. But yes, you had a flutter at work and you've won not enough to retire on.
Not enough life-changing, but enough that's going to sort me out for a bit. And we've got news on a couple of prizes donated by Treasure Hunting Magazine.
Well, they're not donated yet.
Not donated yet, but you've got some books to show, which we might be having donated. For those of you who don't know, tonight's episode is 148. Next week will 49. The week after will then be 149.5 because my dear co-host there will be drinking copious amounts of alcohol at a comedy night at a local brewery.
On behalf of my birthday.
Or on behalf of his birthday.
Yeah, so we're putting it back a week.
We're putting it back a week. We're putting the show back a week.
Yeah. Yes.
So the 150th episode will be on the 13th of April. So we're looking at having numerous prizes. Again, not via the newsletter, which if you haven't signed up for the newsletter already, which has lots of perks involved, I'll put the ticker on the bottom of the screen. This will be for show people only, because obviously a lot of people won prizes who probably have never watched the show last time round when we did a big draw. It won't be a big draw, not as big as the last, because
21 prizes.
I don't want to go asking people to give us stuff, basically.
No.
And Adrian was kindly offered something by somebody else. So we've got a few bits and bobs anyway, haven't we?
Yeah.
So that is news number one. And what, sorry?
No, sorry, I've just seen something that's a prize as well. Another prize, but I won't say it. Not a good prize.
A bit of a shout out. If anybody could kindly offer a lift to Scott DeBay for Spring Detectable on April the 1st, I believe. He has been let down and he's looking for somebody who can kindly offer him a lift from Essex, and he can actually make his way, if possible, to Suffolk. So anybody going from Essex or Suffolk to Detectable willing to give a lift to Scott DeBay. If you're not in contact with him already, give me a shout and I will put you in communication.
He is a nomad.
He is a nomad, Dr. Nomad.
If you've got an Opta machine, you want to know everything about it, perfect. Put him in the car and give him a couple of cans of sherry or something, and he can talk to you about Nocta all day long and tell you what to do with your machine. You might even get a free hat or something, mightn't you, Dave?
Or maybe another hat. Couldn't think of anything.
Do you want to get
the Xterra Pro has come out this week.
Yes, and selling like hotcakes. 200 and less than 300 quid. Yeah, it's gonna. Well, it's getting good reviews. It's still early days, but for a beginner or a backup machine. No. I hope to get one very soon. But if you've got a Knox 800, 900, or 600, or whatever, 700, they use the same headphones. So 300 quid for a metal detector, and it's a backup machine. So yeah, I personally haven't touched one in the flesh, but we showed one on the show video, didn't we, Dave? Before everyone knew about it.
Yes,
and
we did.
The shaft and everything, and the way it collapses, I think it's going to be a lovely little machine.
Gareth
How it
Sims has got an X-Terra for his 10-year-old son. So anybody who does currently have
Gareth.
one and has used it, please let us know what your thoughts are, and obviously we can tell everybody what you're thinking.
Have you sold your mum's car yet, Gareth, or your mother-in-law's car?
I thought you meant me then.
No.
My mum's dead and she couldn't drive.
No, mine is as well, so she couldn't drive either. But I was just wondering if he sold it because
John Clayton's got a kiddies pop-up tent.
Okay. Yes. So, it's sold. Never mind. That was a good little car. Yes, I went detecting on Saturday with Colchester Detecting Club. Oh my Lord, Dave! I phoned you up, didn't I? Oh, it's like toffee. The rain, the wind. Oh, I did phone you, didn't I? On Saturday. Yes, I did, because there was some chat going on about a competition prize that someone hadn't got. Not Gareth.
Mate, I honestly can't remember.
Well, yeah, I think you were sober. It sounded like you might have been in a pub, but
no, not last
got
week.
Caked in mud. Last Saturday, I phoned you.
I can't remember.
Oh dear, dementia.
Mate, I don't know what day it is.
Oh, Otis, Tom, very impressed so far.
Right.
Yeah.
John Clayton said Scotty DeBay slept in a kid's pop-up tent at Detectable.
What? On his own, I hope?
With obviously John Clayton.
Yeah.
Otis Arms, Tom Dempster.
Yeah.
He's very impressed so far with the Minelab X-Terra Pro.
I think
he bought it from the Iowa in Germany last month. That was the outdoor exhibition type event.
Yes, talking of that was quite interesting because talking of Iowa, this week, International Detector Centre, huge distributor in Europe, have parted their ways with Minelab and are no longer selling the machine in Europe, which is interesting. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, they're big. They're like LP, Joan Allen, you name it, Crawford's all put together. They're huge, and they've parted their ways this week with Minelab. So that's interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Now I've got a bit of news. For those of you who don't know, in fact, none of you know because the information hasn't been released, even though it was done in November. The National Council for Metal Detecting have decided, without the input from the members, to change the constitution. And the constitution basically brought an end to having a chairman in the organisation. So Wendy Howard, who was the chairman, has basically been cast aside. Yeah, and that's my perspective, how I'm looking at it. I apologise if that's not how you feel, Wendy, but that's how it seems to me, obviously having been on the subcommittee of the NCMD and a very bad experience myself. So me and Wendy have been talking this week, and Wendy's agreed to join the team of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. So I'm absolutely over the moon to have Wendy on board. We get on like a house on fire, and we have done since we first met at Detectable 2018. So Wendy's bringing her experience into the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. There's been a few changes from how we operate within the magazine. Now, Adrian, by the way, Adrian isn't part of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. That's me and Luke. Luke, what's his last name? Higgins. Adrian's TH. Anyway, so we have Wendy has been on the board of several different groups related to metal detecting. And we have submitted an application for the magazine to be part of the Portable Antiquities. What's PAG stand for?
Portable Antiquities Group scheme.
No, it's double A. Portable Antiquities.
Anyway, Pava. Yeah.
Anyway, so we've applied to become a associate of PAG. Also, Historic England, Heritage Crime, and the Sports and Recreation Alliance as well. So we've Wendy's taken on the opportunity to bring that over to be a part of them, and it has wappa has gone to. We've communicated. Wendy's communicated with them for the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine to be recognised and a part of them groups. Got it out.
Portable Antiquities Advisory Group.
Portable Antiquities Advisory Group. Thank you, Wendy, in the chat. So welcome on board, Wendy. I am overjoyed to have you on the team, as is Luke, and we hope to go from strength to strength. And Wendy hopefully will also be writing for us and acquiring some stories from her group, which is called, Adrian? Denim.
You've got it. You've passed it to me now. Not Denji. Dedham. It is Dedham, Wendy, isn't it? Wendy put it in the chat.
Wendy, what's it called? What's it called? Dedham Actorist. It just came to me.
Yeah, very nice part of the country.
Hopefully, we'll be having lots of stories, articles, and bits and bobs coming from them as well. And anybody else, if you do want to write for the magazine or submit any images, etc., please get in touch with me via Facebook or email, and we'll be sure to include you. Anyway, we've gone on long enough. Shall we bring Danny on?
Shall I show you that book I was talking about?
Yeah, show us that book first.
Or shall I do it later?
Show us the books before Danny comes
on.
All
right. Just so...
Book, not book. Double O.
Books.
Double O.
We all find... Well, most of us find hammers. And they're very tricky a lot of the time to identify when you get a rare one. Early Anglo-Saxon up until Charles II. So Greenlight Publishing have got some books, but they got a deal on. Now, these are books for people who are well into their coins. Now, this book here is English Hammered Coinage, Volume 1, right? Now, this book is by Spinks. And if you don't know Spinks, Spinks are the books of books. Now, this is very detailed. However, it also has ridiculous information on hammered coins. And, I mean, I can go on. This book, as well as this book, Volume 2, Edward I to Charles II, these books have been written by specialists and they are heavily identified. And it does look a bit technical, but from this, I've already identified 3 of my hammers, which I hadn't been able to before. And one of them is quite valuable. And one of them is paid for more than the cost of the books. As you can see, some really in-depth, nice pictures and information there. These two books...
Calm it, Ange. Don't be getting too...
Oh, no, Ange. Oh, dear. These two books aren't your basic detecting books. These are for someone who really, really wants to identify their hammered coins. Now, Spink, as I said, are a world-renowned publisher, and they don't get people like me or Dave to write for them. They get some top-end, high-level people with experience in this
numismatic.
Yes, thank you, Dave. These books are normally 50 quid each. Wow, that's a lot of money, I hear you say. But if you've got a lot of hammered coins and you need to identify them, they'll pay for it for themselves really quickly. However, at the moment on Greenlight Publishing, they're 85 quid each, cheaper than Spinks. So
85 quid each?
85 quid for 2. 85 quid for 2. Yeah. So if you're interested, head over to greenlightpublishing.com.
That's a £15 saving.
Yeah, £15. But I've identified one hammered coin that's worth more than that. And that's based on, not on eBay look, that's a proper valuation. But yeah, worth taking a look at greenlightpublishing.com, and they are a lot of money, but when you start reading them, to give you an example, the history of coinage in Britain, I think, is about 40 or 50 pages, and there's stuff in there that you pick up a book on coins, any sort of book, and it's pretty much similar, the history of the coinage, bit like how to start metal detecting.
It's
But you
really
start reading
no
that,
good
and
for
it's
me, really.
good.
I've only got 3 hammers.
Well, yeah, but one of those might be a rare one. You don't know. But also the history behind it and stuff. Right, sorry, Danny's coming on.
Danny's coming on. Danny.
Hopefully.
Where are you? Oh, he's disconnected himself.
You're on dial-up.
We kept him long for too long.
His battery's gone, isn't
Device not connected. Oh, no.
Okay,
We'll have
right.
to waffle on for a while, won't we?
How did we get hold of Danny? Well, not physically.
Danny is a friend of mine. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but Danny, basically, when I first started the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, Danny contacted me and said, listen, mate, that's dead good what you're doing. Can I build a website for you? I was like, okay. So the initial Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Sorry, he's connecting and disconnecting. The original Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine was built by Danny, and Danny hosted it for a number of years until basically the magazine got too big for Danny's servers. And then we migrated, and even though we did evolve under another person who then ballsed it up completely and made lots of money out of me, Danny was basically the origin. In fact, where is he? The little man, our ArcMD logo, Archie, the little bloke. There he is. There he is there, just there. Danny created the logo as well. So that's all down to Danny. And I can't thank him enough. And I'm saying words very slowly as he keeps coming in the bottom and then disappearing again. I think he's having connection issues.
He keeps what?
At the bottom of my screen,
oh.
I've got control of everything, haven't I? So he keeps popping up and then disappearing again. So he's got connection issues. So we'll get Danny on as soon as, anyway.
What's Adrian drinking? Looks like screen wash. Derek, no, it's Vimto and lemonade in a wine glass, because that's the only glasses I have in my house, as well as full pint pots. And cherry glasses.
Here he is.
Hey,
here he is.
You threw me out. I could hear you, but I couldn't see you.
No, it said you were having connection issues, and it was telling us you weren't there.
No, I could hear you talking, and the introduction was great, Dave. I remember designing the little guy, the logo all those years ago.
Aye. As I say, Danny, yes, we can hear you fine. You contacted me 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer.
Longer than
was
that,
it?
Yeah.
In fact, 7 years ago now. You contacted me as a metal detectorist. So what we're going to be talking about tonight, the Metal Detecting Club, was around at that point. We'll get to that a little bit later. And if it wasn't for you, the magazine wouldn't be what it is today. As I said to Adrian, we reached the point where the amount of people visiting the site was too astronomical for your server.
Yeah, I've been talking about that with somebody else today. Actually, I think it was actually you guys that killed the server.
Yes, it was me. Yes,
and temporarily put me out of business. But we fixed all of that, and now we have a new server, and hopefully that won't happen again. But you guys literally went from not existing to going crazy almost overnight, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Mental, absolutely mental. And as I say, Danny, I can't thank you enough for that. But for everybody who doesn't know you, because you're a bit silent within the hobby, you're not a well-known face like others. Can you introduce yourself for us?
I think for me, certainly, I've been around for a long time, certainly with the introduction. And my role in a lot of this has been actually helping and supporting clubs and people who've set up digs or organizations or magazines, maybe with a website or maybe with a logo or maybe with a banner or whatever it is, some printed stuff. And over that time, I've spent a big bunch of time, not only in the field, actually having a go, and I found a bunch of stuff, and I've had the pleasure of trying, various different machines, but I've also seen, I guess, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this hobby. And I'm also involved heavily with fishing as well. So if there's any guys in the chat who go detecting and go fishing, you may have seen me in the fishing world around carp fishing. But again, a lot of the stuff that I do is behind the scenes, and I'm kind of the guy who sort of props up some of the well-known websites or do logos and things like that. Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So, Danny, how long have you been sort of involved with detecting?
I think certainly for a good couple of years prior to meeting Dave, but also before that, again, I knew some characters, the good, the bad, and the ugly, shall we say. And these guys kind of had that crossover into the fishing world as well. So I've always sort of been exposed to the fact that there is this amazing hobby that, these guys are just as crazy as the carp anglers. They're out in all weathers and they'll do anything to kind of achieve their goal and realize what it is that they get out of the hobby. So I have, 10, 12 years or more, I've certainly been exposed. But as those years have gone by, I've got more and more involved and worked with some amazing people like Dave. And we've had some successes that wouldn't necessarily be attributed to me. So people have had a bunch of success, but it's whether it's the website or whether it's the stuff behind the scenes, that kind of thing. That's where I've mainly sort of been involved. But I have seen and understand a lot about, what people do this for, why they do it, and like I say, some interesting characters along the way, shall we say.
Put it this way, Adrian, I'm sure he won't mind me telling you, he's actually had police involvement regarding the bad, haven't you, Danny?
Yeah, I'd say that was the ugly, David.
The bad and the ugly. We won't go there, but we've he's certainly had.
Danny, out of interest, I as a young lad, I was into fishing, just for course fishing, and then you sort of migrated at 12 to sort of spinning for pike, and then you started getting a bit of pocket money, and carp fishing sort of started coming in, but a lot of money had to be spent. And do you think people in the fishing world are as good, bad, and ugly as those in the detecting world, or less or worse? Because it is a similar sort of hobby, but we do have characters in our hobby.
Let's have it right, because there's more good across the whole, the whole of the industries, whichever hobby you're kind of in. And carp fishing, metal detecting, barbel anglers, they're a character in their own right. I've sort of focused in that carp fishing realm for many, many years, and the metal detecting as well. And there are similarities, but look, you're either a kind-hearted person or you're not. And sometimes, no matter where you go, you are going to find those unscrupulous characters. But I guess we've all got our fair share of them, whether it's in our clubs or whether it's in our groups or communities. And doing the work that I do, I've banned my fair share of people from groups, shall we say, and had to take action, sometimes for my own detriment as well, to protect the greater community. If you sort of see where I'm going with that, you guys.
Yeah,
Facebook.
I know the story, so I know.
Undoubtedly. And I think it's easy for somebody to be that keyboard warrior, what we all say, and really upset the sort of the equilibrium, or whatever the word is, the status quo of an entire group almost overnight. And as detectorists or anglers or wherever we are, it's super important that we all kind of stand together and make sure that these people are not allowed to thrive, if that kind of makes sense. And it's important that we do sort of weed these people out of our communities, because ultimately, you know, it only takes one of the bad or the ugly to have a big ripple effect. And that's not where we want to be. So we want to be celebrating the good, the positive, and helping people to get out there and enjoy their hobbies safely, if that, you know, is on the same wavelength with what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely need to get the ugly out of the hobby. I mean, that Kev Marchese, he's ugly, isn't he? Oof, absolutely.
Yeah,
I said I'd say hello tonight to the Sassy Searches Metal Detecting Club, which is a all-female metal detecting group. Ange, if you don't know, you could look at that. And Michelle Val, who runs the group, is in the chat. Michelle Val, who, by the way, I've been asking to come on the show for quite some time.
I was going to say,
yes, Michelle, think on.
Yes.
That Sid Perry's been ignoring me as well.
Yeah, he does. He won't come on unless he's in his pants that he came on one night, which was a bit bizarre.
No, just his pants.
you saying about the bad people, sadly, I think if you measured people with mental health issues in hobbies, metal detecting would be up there, but it does help them. And there are some people I know in the hobby who have been absolute idiots and pains, but over the years, I think the hobbies helped them. They do regress at times, but I think it is a hobby where you're more likely to bump into someone who's got some issues, shall we say, and it does help them. I've seen it. People, you sort of meet them in the morning at a rally or a dig, and they're not really sociably engaging, or if they are, they're overly.
Fine, right?
Yeah, and then as the day goes on, it's almost like I don't know, going down the pub with your mates, and you've got a quiet one, and then by 11 o'clock he won't shut up because he's drunk. But they're not drunk on drink; they're drunk on fresh air and the whole hobby. It's a really awkward one because some people, I don't know, but you're right, we do need to whittle them out, and I think because of social media, you know, they do that themselves. A lot of people, you know, without us having to get involved. We've seen it, evidence, you know,
without a doubt. And I think, you know, and I noticed there's quite a few ladies in the chat, and certainly in the fishing world, we're getting more and more ladies getting involved in fishing right now, and showing the guys what's up. But these hobbies predominantly are male dominated in a sense. There's more men seem to be doing these things, certainly in the fishing, and unfortunately amongst men we do tend to harbor stress and anxiety and things like that, and sometimes you need that hobby, I guess, to kind of let this out. You might not be the most sociable person, but after you say, like you say, walking around the field or casting the line or going on a bike ride, whatever it is, that is your release. And I think it's important to help the folks who want to be helped, and recognize people do have complex issues and complex needs, and, you know, people struggling with money or whatever it is. That stuff can drive you crazy. You only need to turn the news on, right?
Well, it's enough to turn you to drink, isn't it?
Well, quite, yeah. And I think
there's another person I'm calling out, that Alex Savage character with his picture on the front of the treasure hunting magazine, and I keep asking him to come on the show. Alex Savage,
come on the show.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but the copy of Alex on the front is by my bed. I've got a stack of treasure hunting magazines next to my bed, and it's been propped up against the wall near the bedside cabinet for about 2 years, probably longer now. I don't know, I can't remember, but I keep seeing Alex Savage. I should move it because my wife must think it's a bit strange, but yeah, Alex should come on. Yeah, definitely.
Alex, you should come on just so Adrian can look at you in the flesh and not on the paper.
Oh, magazines, Gareth's Loft, 25 minutes.
Magazines, Gareth Loft.
Yes. But more importantly, we're here to talk about this, Dave, aren't we?
Yes, this
thing. I appreciate you guys having me on this, and, you know, great to be part of the journey from the early days, really. Certainly over these last few years, I've picked up a lot of sort of insights and things about the hobby and how things are progressing, and noticed sort of themes and patterns emerging. And that's kind of led me to do a bunch of stuff around information, because information is super important if you want to be good at something, right?
Yeah.
And one of those things is I'm quite good at putting words on paper. And recently we've produced this thing, this metal detecting secrets. I'm not sure if there are any secrets. If you've got any secrets, share them in the chat, and maybe we can give away some prizes to some of you guys. But metal, yeah, we do have a few tricks up the sleeve, and we've got, being in the fishing trade as well, we do have access to things like nice, comfortable clothing, and we've got some goodies around this and a bunch of stuff. So if people are good and people get engaging with us, I might be able to give something away on the stream. Does that sound like a plan? Can I give some?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Hold it up a little bit, Dan. Cover your face. Cover your face.
Cover the beard.
That's
right?
better.
I've already had the beard comments. But look, we did this recently, and I've actually, over the years, amassed a group of people in a Facebook group, and now we've got like 300 people in the group and like 4,000 people on the page. And I realized quite recently, oh man, these people are continually asking questions and continually seeking information that's going to help them do more with their time in the field, more with the hobby, and get more out of this. And I'm thinking, well, if I could just put some of the things that I've picked up over the years, working with clubs and magazines and companies and all this stuff, into a little guide, maybe this would help people, right? And I put some stuff together, and we shared originally a little free guide on how to get more land permission, right? And anybody can download that for free right now. It's just metal-detecting.club. There's a thing somewhere. You can download that.
Hold on.
We got a thing.
Where is it, Adrian? Where is it, Adrian? Scan the QR code. Scan the QR code.
If you want that, and look, this little guide has been downloaded like thousands of times. And based on, look, my experience of working with clubs and talking to detectorists, is it's all right going on a dig, or all right going to the big rallies, or all right, going out and everybody's going on a Sunday to one thing. But what do you do on a Tuesday afternoon, right? What happens if you've not got local permission and you don't know the landowners, and you're kind of like, oh man, what do I do with this metal detector when there's nothing on? And that little free guide has helped a bunch of people to literally go out there and secure their first permission, right? And that, you guys know, and I know, the importance of having your own land to trod on your own or with your buddy, and go out there and actually, even if you're not finding a great deal of stuff, even if you search that area like 20 different times, you've still got permission to actually go out. And what we realized talking to people is folks didn't actually know how to get the answer that they need to go out there on and find permission, and not only find it but keep it. So over the last few years, we've just been sharing information as well as supporting groups and clubs and different things like that, and it's really had an impact. But like Dave said, I've kind of been behind the scenes a little bit. This thing is the more modern, up-to-date version. It doesn't just cover how to get land permission. It covers important things like etiquette, but it's also actually got some really useful tips. And again, we've launched this and we did it digitally. And I've put this out digitally, and we had a prize draw running with that. And we've got a bunch of different things going on with this. And people have downloaded it, and I'm getting great feedback. But one of the things that people have said is, Danny, can you not print it out and get it done properly so we can have a hard copy, which is kind of important, right? So we've gone on this journey of providing good information and helping people to go out there and find more permission, to do more with the time when they're actually out there detecting. And this is like version 2 of that hopefully will help a big bunch of folks to do more with their time. Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely. And the one thing I do like about the book, Danny, it's not one person who's taking credit on the cover. It's actually by the Metal Detecting Club. And I think that's brilliant that you've actually given everybody the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, so the fact that we've just called this thing Metal Detecting Club really does encompass all of the knowledge and the people that we've encountered, the good, the bad, and the ugly over the years, and kind of summarized what are the big takeaways. So people, I'm noticing in the comments right now, people say they fear rejection. Some people just fear having a conversation. We've already talked about the folks who might not be very social. It's important that people have got information that they can use to actually go out there and ask the question. You see me? Please, can I detect on your land?
Yeah.
It's probably not good enough.
No, definitely not. You need. Well, I have my own way of doing it, and my detecting buddy, he has a very good way of doing it, and we've got a ridiculous amount of permissions. But it's a problem.
Not everybody can wear them sort of clothes, Adrian, like
no.
he pulls off.
Well, we did know he the biggest permission we got. James wore a shirt and tie. I turned up in a t-shirt and jeans. I felt like a retrobate.
Yeah, but what was he wearing on the bottom?
A skirt. But it's true. There's a huge influx of people coming into the hobby, and sadly, I know it, and I've spoken to a few people and recommended machines to look at and stuff. They buy a machine and then get all excited, buy the magazines, watch YouTube videos, and then realise, oh, I can't detect at the local park. Oh, that farmer won't let me in. And I wouldn't be surprised. It's a bit like those who are sort of old enough. In the 70s and 80s, there was a huge outpour of air rifles. Everyone wanted an air rifle. Everyone wanted a sort of Webley 10-pair store. Yeah, well, I had loads, but yeah. And I still got them. And everyone bought an air rifle and then realised that their 20-foot rear garden with a thin fence on the back, backing onto a sort of kids' playground, you can't really shoot it because you have to account by law for the pellet, And then that went up in the loft. And I think there's a lot of Garretts. I'm not saying that because they're bad machines, but they were one of the most popular machines. Ace 150s, 250s. People bought them, took it to the beach, found a load of tinfoil and put it back up in the loft. And that probably left the batteries in it and it corroded. But it is very important to do your research. And the time, I've spoken to people who've nearly cried when they've got their first permission, because it is the holy grail, isn't it, of detecting. You get your own permission and that's it. Well, when can I go? I can go whenever you want. Obviously there's no crops on there, but it's something that sort of, there needs to be more discussed about it in the hobby. There's some great YouTubers and videos out there, and there are some videos on how to get your permissions and stuff like that. But that's one video, and it's almost like a forum needs. There are forums, and you've got Facebook, but I don't know. It's interesting, and I'll be interested how it goes, Danny. The
Metal Detecting Club is actually a forum originally, wasn't it, Danny?
Yeah, indeed. And look, I've done the air rifle thing as well. I get it. And it went from, you could openly walk around some woodland area or some fields and, the rabbit or the squirrel or whatever it was, to the point where, especially after certain things that have happened over in America and obviously you've got the helicopter, you've got the armed response team, and you ain't going shooting anymore. And getting permission to go and fire effectively a weapon, a firearm, is even more difficult than going out there, swinging the coil, or indeed trying to get access to, some premium fishing lake. All of these things require a little bit of finesse and a very clear demonstration that you are not going out there to cause a problem. There are, unfortunately, for people who've not learned these skills, it's increasingly more difficult because there's always been 10 idiots before you who've gone up there and tried to climb over the fence, or they've knocked on the door at 10 o'clock at night, or they've done something crazy. That landowner is like, look, I'm not interested. And you shut down straight away. How many people have asked for permission and then just not even got the answer? You've been chased away, whether that's shooting, fishing, or indeed detecting. And what we put together in the little free guide really unlocked a big bunch of people and enabled them to actually go out there, get a permission. And like you said, some of these people have messaged me and they're like, I cannot believe how powerful that stuff was. We gave that away for free. This kind of takes it to the next level. And what we've done alongside of this is we've bundled some really cool stuff. So if you did want to buy that digitally, we do this in a bundle of stuff and competition entries for a measly £9. And you can't get fish and chips for £9 in some places, right?
No,
so
you can't down in Essex. Cool.
We've put a big bunch of effort and all the rest of it into the digital version. And what we've done is provided some risk assessments that you can use. So you can say to a landowner, hey, I'm totally aware of the risks, and this is what I have done to mitigate these problems. We've hidden a lot of little tips and tricks in this, though, how to word your conversation, all of that kind of thing. So that when the landowner finally meets you or sees you, they're like, this guy knows his stuff, or this lady knows the stuff. They're clearly not going to come and cause me any distress or problem. And they're talking the right language for me to give them a chance. And if you get that chance and you prove yourself, what happens? You get more and more permission. And working with clubs that don't have much permission, that's an even bigger heartbreak, because you've got a group of folks, 10, 15, 20, 50 people, whatever, and the club is struggling to get land. The stuff that we put together, even in the free guide, has enabled clubs to unlock acres of permission, run digs successfully, and that then translates into people going out there and enjoying that hobby. That's got to be a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think. Sorry.
No, you started speaking first, so you get it.
All I'm saying is, because of the popularity, obviously at the end of the day comes money. So groups and clubs, the more people in it have more money. So there is also that risk, and I don't know if it's in your book of secrets. I like that book of secrets. You can have someone who, I know many people who've had a permission for 5, 10, 15 years, and then suddenly a big group club will come along and say, hello, Mr. Farmer, there's $2,500, and they lose the permission. And I think that's becoming more of an issue in the hobby as well, because of the demand for the land. And it is a sad story. So I suppose.
Well, that's the exact reason why we put on the dig with Shane last year, because somebody had been to the farmer and offered them an extortionate amount of money. So save them doing it and keeping the land for Steve and Shane, because they had their horse off there. We got several fields and ran our own dig on there. I forgot what I was going to say.
One of the big things, I guess, is if you built that relationship up, no amount of money would override that relationship, especially for just that one time or twice. And if that happens over a weekend, that Farmer John or whoever it is, and that guy's never going to sell you out because you've built that relationship. And again, we've come up with not necessarily tips and tricks, but methods of initially getting that land, but also not once you've got it, how do you actually keep it? And that's a big one, right? Because people lose permission as fast as they get it. And then the tax is going up in the garage.
Alcohol seems to work quite well.
Alcohol.
Yeah, not drinking it whilst detecting. Of course, I'd never do that. But yes, lots of gifts and lots. And the beauty you've got now as well is create a WhatsApp group with the farmer or the landowner and share your finds. But that might be in your special tricks thing. But yeah,
there's
Danny,
stuff in here.
The ebooks available for £9, as well as other bits and bobs. Are physical paper versions available?
I've got more people asking for a printed version than the actual digital version. And people are like, hey, I don't even want to download this thing. I want the printed one. So I've been to see my mate Dave, who everybody's got a mate Dave, right? Another Dave. And my mate Dave, who's actually got a printing shop. And Dave has printed stuff for me for many, many years. And he's managed to come up with a price that I can get these printed for in small batches, because I'm not going to go and like publish 100 or 1,000 of these things, because it don't make sense. And what we've decided is to do literally a limited run of 50 of these, number them, and also bundle a big bunch of cool stuff along with it. And if people want to see that bundle and get their hands on a copy and get literally 200 quid's worth of other stuff, all in a big bundle for like one insane price, if they let us know in the chat, we can do that on this show.
Add me to it. I want one.
Nobody else has got a copy of this. This is the only copy right now, and Dave's on standby to do 50.
Adrian
wants one. I'll buy Adrian's.
I'm going to share something because you might not know, Danny, but my background's print and design. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and I've just sent you something in the chat that might be of interest. But yeah.
there's always a thing, right? And quite fortunate, because Dave is actually retiring very, very soon. And I think
I didn't win that much.
I didn't win that much. The other Dave, the printing Dave's retiring very, very soon, right? And this is probably going to be one of the last print jobs he's doing. And that's really an end of the era for David. And I've known the man for so long, and we've done so many things. Yes, we may need the thing that you've just put up in the chat going forward, but this is kind of like a legacy, and it's something that I'm proud to be able to present, because it will help a lot of people. And the other stuff that we've bundled with this is insane. The digital stuff and the members area and all these cool things that are just going to help you go out there, find more land, have more fun. And there's a section in here that that I really just want to focus on. It's like, don't be that guy. And we really want to. I'm not going to let you read it in the thing right now. But it's very important not to be the bad and the ugly, right? And I know people watching this show, they're going out there, they're representing the hobby in the fullest. But there's a very important statement: don't be that guy. And if we can share that with the up and coming, the young people, the people new to the hobby, that just makes it easy. Not easy, but it makes it a lot better for everybody. You know, you see a thing on the news only less than a week ago that they're banning detecting on X amount of beaches down the east coast, right? And now you've got to seek like permission on permission and get a special thing from the council to be able to detect on beaches where people have been able to go. And the reason they're doing that is because people are not doing it properly. If we can promote the properly side of things, hopefully that reduces those issues and those barriers coming up. Because just like the air rifle shooting, if that day comes where every time somebody's got their detected, the bloody police are coming, what hope is there for the future generations, and what hope is there for the hobby, right? So it's important to me.
Well, we've got a few people interested in the book, Danny. How much did you say that was going to retail at, the physical copy?
Look, for the price that he's actually able to make them for, right? The only way I could do this realistically is by bundling it with a bunch of other stuff, right? So you're not just going to get the book. Can I kind of like tell you what you're going to get? And if it sounds
make it big. Make it big, Dave.
Then I'll tell you how much.
Yeah, go on. Here we go. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not going to share this on the screen, right? But look, what you're going to get is you're going to get the book, and you're going to get a printed version, and it's going to be numbered. So you're going to get number 1 to 50. Right. Once that's done, we're not going to print anymore. Right. So it's a very, very limited. Not only do you get the printed version, you're going to get the digital version as well. We also have a monthly newsletter that goes out, and You know, people subscribe to this thing. It's got a bunch of information and extra things, news and stuff. You're going to get that for 12 months. We're also going to give you, which I was like opposed to doing, but just because it's Dave and I've known him for years and I really wanted to give you guys something awesome, I'm also going to give you what we've called the land grab script. It's actually a script that you can read out when you contact or talk to landowners. Don't read it off the paper, kind of memorize this thing, change it a little bit, but that will help you to break down the barriers, get more land. We'll give you the risk assessment and we'll give you some stuff that you can use to follow with landowners in email or social media, like you said, WhatsApp. We'll also give you a membership account for our club, which gives you access to a digital members area, right? So if you think, for me to print these, you know how much this will kind of cost being in the print background, right? They're not cheap if you want a small run. So that's costing us a big bunch of money. And then we've got the shipping. We'll take care of the shipping. You get the book, you get the digital book, you get the MD monthly for 12 months, you get the land grab script, the risk assessments, the letters, and the memberships account. And we'll give you that free land permission guide bundled in there as well. And if that's not enough, we'll also give you entry into a competition to win some awesome outdoor clothing in your size that's worth about 300 quid. If you add all of that stuff up and you was to go and print it and download it and sort of buy this and everything, you've probably got about 240 quid's worth of value there, you guys. And that's like insane. And I want to give people 240 quid's worth of value, the book, the digital book, the members area, the Facebook group, all of this stuff, so you just get it in one go on this show, and we're not going to charge you anywhere near that price. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan, Dan.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, Dan.
And I'll also buy that car as well.
But look, if all it does is get you one more permission, how much would you pay for one permission? People go out there, like you said, and pay £2,000 just to metal detect for a day, and people are monopolising the hobby. Would you swap £240 for a permission that you could go and detect on, and some tricks and tips and secrets that you could use to find more cool stuff? I think most people would, right? It's kind of like in the fishing business. If we could catch you your biggest ever fish, what would that be worth to you? If you go out there and you find a big bunch of artifacts and cool stuff and coins or things that you've been like, this is what I really want to find and this is what I'm focused on, and you get that permission and then you actually go and find something, what's that actually worth? It's worth a lot more than 200 quid, right? And we're not going to charge you 200 quid, or we're not going to charge 100 quid, we're even going to charge 50 quid for the whole of that stuff. So you get the book, the digital book.
Sounds like a plan, Dan.
All of this stuff. And I'm going to ship the thing, recorded delivery, and it's numbered. What is that? You know, that's worth an insane amount of money. We're going to do all of that, right? And I might be crazy. You might guys think I'm crazy. We're going to do all of that for... Oh man, who wants to know the price? Let me know in the chat if this sounds good, right?
We've already had people saying...
I can only see a limited amount of chat. We'll do all of that. You get the book, the digital book, members area, the land grab script, all of this stuff that we've put together over a big bunch of time and effort and money into doing this. 21 quid for the lot.
How do they buy it? How do they get it down?
And that's going to be shipped to you, recorded delivery, so nobody can turn around and say, hey, you guys, this has not arrived, right? So what I'm going to do, if that sounds good, we're used to this in the
do I get a mop as well?
You can have a mop as well. That's not included. Definitely not included. What you need to do is a secret link just for this show, right? And there's only 50 available, and the link expires at midnight. So if you want it,
fucking hell, Danny, I don't get paid till tomorrow.
This is the thing, right? If you want it, you need to do it, right? Because I need to get onto David before he retires. I need to get these printed out. I need to get them posted.
Quick, because we've only got 3 hours.
You're going to go to metal-detecting.club/MD print. I'll put that in our little chat room, Dave. I don't know if you can share that and give that to everybody.
Yep,
but look,
moment.
What I'm going to do, because I'm feeling super generous and a little bit crazy, and I've drunk like 10 cups of coffee today, which is like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm still drinking coffee. The first 5 or 10 people that sign up, I'm actually going to give you a little bonus extra as well in that package when it comes. Now, you don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a little surprise. It's going to fit in the envelope, so you're not getting a mop. But I'm really going to lay on the value because I know how powerful this is going to be for you and your members and anybody who grabs it. But there's only 50 available. It's metal-detecting.club/MD print. And if you get one and you even go out there and find one more permission, it's got to be worth the investment of 21 quid, right? Because it's probably cost more than 230 quid, 240 quid for me to do.
That is brilliant, Danny, and it's very cheap because last Friday I went to the pub, and then after the pub I got 2 large cod and chips, and for me and the housing manager, and it cost more than that. Ridiculous, isn't it?
So what
I
could you
still
do?
don't get paid till tomorrow.
There might be some left in the morning, right? But you could go out and get fish and chips twice, or 4 pints, or you could go and get, I don't know, go and get
4 pints. Go and
get a place where like I don't know, you go to Heathrow Airport, you could probably get 1 pint.
Well, down south you get 3.
It's almost like money is one of those things that's useless on its own, but if you're swapping it for something of value, then you can go out there, and it's kind of like when they say if you teach the man to fish, right? What we're doing, if we teach you to get land permission and we teach you to be even better at the hobby so you get more out of it, it's got to be worth 21 quid, right? I know how much people spend on a little digging tool or a pouch or a fishing rod or whatever it is. The information is very important, but information alone is not enough. And what we've bundled in here is not just information, it's actually practical steps. You could use this stuff right now to go and get a permission, to go and find more stuff. And when you've done that in the right way, not only is it going to be awesome, you're actually going to keep that permission for a long time. Well, what's that worth? And if, Dave's been great with me over the years, and we've done so many awesome things together. I think giving back like this, I could have come on and said, "Oh, the book's 20 quid just for the book," with the shipping and all of that, and people would probably have bought it. To come on and do that for fish and chips twice, I'm hoping that your members.
Can I have fish and chips as well? Because I absolutely.
I'm hungry now.
You're hungry? Yeah, I don't know, but look,
Danny, I'm going to have to interject because we're a little bit behind with Gareth's loft, and it's also
just quickly
something else.
Gareth's not currently in the loft at the moment. He's just put something in the chat, which is nice to clarify. Gareth said, "I'll just speak out on Cleethorpes Beach. With all due respect to Danny, people in Cleethorpes are detecting properly. It's down to Mr. Shepherd and North East Lincolnshire Council being greedy." Well, there's a surprise. Council's being greedy. So, yeah, and that's what I heard, Gareth, as well. Anyway, get back up the loft, Gareth, because it's time
for... No prizes tonight. Adrian, who's in Gareth's parents' loft?
He's a very well-known person who tests metal detectors. Not me. What else does he do? He wears silly glasses a lot and wigs. And he's a detectorist.
Elton John, no.
He wears
women's clothes. Oh.
No, silk French style boxer shorts with Fred Flintstone on. Will Way.
He's
well done. Will must be with him.
Martin
Is Will up the loft?
They're all upstairs. They're all in Gareth's parents' loft. Do you know where they are, Adrian? Do you know where they are?
Who's in the...
I hope he's got enough magazines up there because I don't know how many he's got. So if there's quite a few up there, they'll be fighting over Razzle, won't they?
They will. Do you know what time it is now?
Collection.
Do you know what time it is now, Danny?
Yes.
Do you know what time it is?
I don't know if I've come at the right time. If Book Wars.
Easy. He's just come at the right time. What's that about? Anyway, moving on. So, tonight is round 3 of the second part of our Book Wars friendly competition. And this set of 4 books each is by authors who have been on the show previously. My book tonight is 379 pages long, Adrian.
Mine's 300, but content is key.
So, Danny, can you pick a number between 1 and 300?
240.
200. I thought he'd have gone for 50. 240. I can see why he's gone for 240. Danny, you do realise you have had a few orders?
I think that there's things happening, and I can see things happening on my phone. Remember the first few people that sign up, I will put that little extra in the envelope when I ship these out. It is going to take about a week for David to turn these round, so please, you will get an email. If there's any problems, you can email me. I'm here. You'll get a link to join the group and a bunch of stuff. Just don't worry, your money's safe. We've been doing this stuff for a long time. It will get delivered, and you should get instant access. One thing for sure, you need to make sure that when you join the members area, when you sign up, you use exactly the same email that you used for your shipping notification, right? So if you try and change your email, you'll go into the members area and you won't get all the content. Any problems, just reply to the email and I'll sort it out. But yes, I appreciate. And I noticed somebody made a comment. I need a stall on the market. Maybe that's the case. But you guys, you get a lot of value out of this, right? And I'm over the moon that you guys have invested in this evening.
Good.
Anytime, Danny. Anytime. Absolutely anytime at all.
I'm hoping that we meet.
Adrian, you go first.
I won't do it in a voice.
Go on.
The Paz has recorded over 600 button and loop fasteners. They are found throughout Britain, but with marked concentration in Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire. It was believed that they were connected to the Roman army, but many of the detector finds come from sites where there was no known military presence. The assumption is often made that these objects were used to hold clothing in place, with the loop sewn into one side of the garment and the button passing through a slit on the other. However, in his 1970 study, Button and Loop Fasteners in the Roman Provinces, John Peter Wilde, I could go on, but that's just a section from the book. Sounds like Danebury MDC. Well, I've got a lot of greenery going on tonight in my screen.
Giants' fingerprints. The Cromarty legends are filled with descriptions of stone-throwing giants. One stone was hurled by a local titan across Dornoch Firth, and another, yet larger, landed a few miles from Dingwall, which bears the impression of a giant's finger and thumb. The stone still rests today in its landing spot. This account brings to life the mythic era of giants and is one of the most fascinating reports of giant skeletons uncovered in Scotland to date. The entire story can be found in Popular Tales of West Highlands, 1893. I think that'll do. What was your book, Adrian?
My book was by Kevin Leahy and Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis, who's head of the Portable Antiquities Scheme, who was on the show just before Christmas or just after Christmas. And he is involved in that, which is a massive book, which everybody owns in the hobby.
And if they don't, where can they get it?
They can get it from greenlightpublishing.com, Detecting Media, their metal detecting dealer, or Amazon. Probably Amazon, because that's where most people go nowadays. Really good book, that is. Look at that. Just look at that. It
is sexy. My number 1, number 2, and Identifying Detector Finds are right next to it.
3's coming out soon.
Ooh. The Giants of Stonehenge and Ancient Britain by Hugh Newman, who was on the show last year. Remember the Gazetteer of Giants? We were talking about the giants in Essex and such like.
That is a really good book, actually.
Fantastic book. And that retails, if you look on Amazon, at $15.99 in the UK and $21.99 in the US. €19.99.
And mine come, I think it's
Like
25 or £30, I think. I can't remember. Oh, Dave.
So, who wins tonight's Book Wars? I forgot to play that, didn't I?
Oh, Gareth's gone for me. He's got signal in his loft. He must have good Wi-Fi.
Dave, Adrian. Oh my gosh, Adrian.
Is it because I do a silly accent voice thing? He's a good book, though.
I think from the next round, Adrian, we don't reveal the book until after the vote. Adrian. I'm off the right this time as well.
The Giants one is interesting, but we don't often dig them up, do we? Often, hopefully not.
Quite. I'm more interested in, is it book or is it book? Is that the real war that's going on?
Book. Dave?
Yeah, but Dave, you cook.
Adrian.
I cook.
Yeah, but I cook. I look at the cookbook.
When you toot your horn of your car, do you toot it or do you toot it?
Toot.
Thank you.
Double O. Toot.
Yeah.
Ooh. Luke.
No,
Cook.
No.
You don't tut your horn, do you? Like you buck it up by buck or cut. You don't tut your horn.
I don't understand what you're saying. I can't understand it. But sorry, didn't vote was busy.
Angie's on the box.
What's that?
Angie's on the books. Angie always buys the books. Whenever we talk about a book on the show, Angie buys a book.
Busy.
Anyway, Adrian, you have won this week's competition, Book Wars, with finds identified 2. So we'll be going on to next week's book. I'm hoping that next week's book is a winner for me because it's an absolutely stunning book. And the author was a brilliant guest, and the TV show, I think, is second to none.
Is it Runaround? Mike Reed?
Mike Reed? No, he's dead.
Oh, not him, no.
We haven't had him on the show. Anyway. No. So, back to that lovely chap, Danny.
Spin the coil.
Spin the coil. I was just logging in to spin the coil. No,
I forgot about spin the coil. Is it still there? Is spin the coil? It might be a bit rusty. It's a bit like doing a school fete. You pull it out the shed and there's bits missing. We might have bits falling off it. It is on the website, isn't it?
And we've also created a new segment, which we will be bringing to you in episode 150.
Very Gareth.
And I think you will appreciate the humour within the title, no doubt. It's very us, isn't it, Adrian?
Just for those who don't know, Danny's web address. Are you able to put it up again, Dan? Sorry, Dave. And Danny, Dan. That's a plan, Dan.
Yeah. That is for the exclusive for tonight, and you get all that stuff bundled in. It's a measly investment, 21 quid. I think from my phone going off over here that there's quite a few people have jumped on. There's only 50 copies available. They're all numbered. You get a big bunch of other stuff. There's a competition attached. I think we've probably given away enough bonuses. There might still be a chance. But that link will expire at midnight. So if you want it, like if you're watching on the replay, it's probably gone.
Danny, can you put me down for one, please? I can't pay till tomorrow, though.
We'll just send you the complimentary package of everything, and you guys don't worry about that. But
Dave, you just won the lottery today. You won the lottery today. How do you mean you can't afford it because you ain't got paid?
Because I got no money. I got £2.81 monthly pay. It's payday tomorrow.
You should stop smoking and drinking. You drink and smoke too much. He doesn't smoke, and you hardly drink. You only drink mead, didn't you? And pineapple rum. Wendy Howard's ordered hers. Hi, Wendy. Fodder Phil's
what am I doing? Oh, it's
hello.
Right. Present. Share screen.
This is something we have on our website, Danny, for people who are very lonely and can't tune into Radio 3. They play this on their own.
Spin the coil.
Coil.
And
Yeah.
Adrian, we're going to have to make a promo for this, aren't we?
What do you mean?
You definitely
Yes. Yes. I've got a funny one. Right, Danny.
Leave that with you.
Yeah. There might be some random ones in here, but yeah, let's go.
It's definitely random.
It is very random. Hopefully. Now this could be related to fishing, metal detecting, or just you sitting down the pub on your own, drinking, like I did last night and messaged Dave. What do you prefer, Danny?
I think for me, certainly on the fishing, being involved in fishing as much as I am, fishing alone to get away from it. But we're actually fishing next week with a group of amazing guys who we've got the barbecue and all the rest of it. I think everybody needs their alone time, but you also do need that social element. So there is definitely a mixture for me, but I do know there are some folks who are just one way or the other. So for me, I do like to mix that up a little bit. Eyes like that. But if you could only go detecting or fishing in one choice that's on there right now, I think it'd probably have to be with the group. And I am community oriented, and I do love helping people and seeing what other people catch or find. So definitely, if it was only one of those choices, it'd have to be the group.
Okay.
Good answer. Next question, Mr.
Man.
Gaylor.
What, for me?
No, for you to ask it.
Have you ever encountered green waste? Now, this is interesting because being a fisherman and also detecting, I'm more interested in this with fishing because I'm not saying you get like tinfoil and sort of spark plugs and stuff like that in a lake, but have you noticed lakes and rivers? Well, you're carp fishermen, so you're more rivers, aren't you? Lakes. Have you noticed an increase in pollution?
Certainly, and for example, I'm in Preston, the River Ribble. There's a big bunch of carp in the River Ribble, and if you ever get the chance during the season, go down there, you do find, even going back years, even the farmer at the other side in a certain section was actually dumping all sorts of crap and like covering this stuff up. And he was deliberately doing that for like a long time. And a friend of mine knew somebody in the Environment Agency, and he actually got into a big bunch of trouble. And that was years ago. And indeed, with the detecting, but to be fair, even just driving down, your local roads these days, there's piles of stuff that people have thrown out the window or dumped. I think this is a significant issue. It's probably getting worse. And whether you're in, air rifle shooting, fishing, detecting, whatever it is, walking your dog, unfortunately, you are going to encounter this thing, and it is probably on the increase. I don't know what you guys believe about
that. It is, but sadly, it's us that have the evidence. So, yeah, I just want to quickly say something, interjecting there. Will Way has said, Dave, top tip, next week's book should be by Jack Hargreaves. How? Do you remember Jack Hargreaves? How? Oh, you might be a bit too young, Dave. And Danny definitely is. Oh, those in the chat will know.
Danny's 56.
No. How? Jack Hargreaves. Google it. If you're sitting at home tonight and you're interested in countryside history, especially Norfolk, Suffolk, Jack Hargreaves. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, I can't have his book on next week because he's not been on the show.
No, but maybe his son or
I
daughter.
remember him.
Let's Jack How you sit there at the
He was a character.
Whittling with a knife. Let's spin it again. Hopefully we'll get one on socks or pants or alcohol. Do you drink, Danny?
We've just had a baby in early February, so I've deliberately stayed away from the beer.
Oh, right.
I thought you were going to stay out of the baby sham.
Christ.
No, not
congratulations.
not the baby sham.
How many have you got now, Dan?
I've actually got 4 kids from like 6 weeks old all the way up to 18, so and everything in between.
Should have got a bigger telly.
Yeah, quite.
We've
actually got 2 under 2, which is interesting, shall we say?
Very
It's
quiet there. And your
definitely
housing manager's managed to put nice fresh tulips on top of your cabinet, I see behind you. So she's doing a very good job.
Yep. So we're trying to keep things fresh in the office. I spend a lot of time in here doing stuff. Person most like to detect with, or most likely.
Is that who he likes to detect with, as in his friends? Or
anyone. It could be anyone. It could be Steven Seagal. It could be Chris
I wouldn't like to
Tarrant.
do that with Steven Seagal.
Someone really famous.
If I found the Gold Noble, he'd take me out straight away.
Who's the man who did Bob Carroll G's? You know, like really famous people.
Does it have to be famous people? There's a big bunch of folks. It's kind of like when you say, you know, if you could sit on the bench with somebody from history and sit down and talk to them, kind of thing. But I wouldn't mind going detecting with you guys. You know, we've known each other for a long time, Dave. You know, all these things going on.
Not really that far away, are we?
That put you off. That put you off detecting and people, I think, if you come out of me or Dave.
Yeah, Will Way says, "Oh, Danny boy, do you only go fishing when the pikes are calling?"
Sometimes
he's on
indeed.
it. He's on it.
He's on it. Definitely on it. I think that, you know, there's so many folks that you'd love to spend that extra minute with as well, isn't there? Really, and you know,
I've got to say, my dad died 20 years ago. My dad was a detectorist, and I never got to go detect. Well, I went when I was 4 with him, but not as an adult. I would love that experience. I'd love to share what I do, what my passion was with my dad, doing what his passion was. And obviously, 2 of us in a field all day, that'd be meant. Anyway,
I'd do the same.
I'll start crying in a minute, so I'm going to spin the
coil. Spin it again. You didn't tell me about this stuff.
Oh, no, that's not relevant, really, is it?
No, I gave up all those things long time ago.
No. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah. Dirty Rick on the corner.
Dirty Rick.
Well, this could be any hat.
What's your favourite detecting hat?
I am a hat kind of guy, and this one is... Like, it's not, don't worry, it's not Make America Great Again. Please God. Where's the camera?
It's a Donald Trump hat.
It's not.
Hold on.
What is it?
It says, wealth is of the heart and mind, not of the pocket. And that's quite a poignant message, I guess, if I could turn it the right way around. Wealth is of the heart and mind, not of the pocket. And for me, you know, we've got to facilitate things like this. Money isn't the driver. People are the driver, and whether it's this hat or this hat or whichever hat it is, the woolly hat that's fell down, you'll often see me with some sort of hat on. But I do like a hat that does carry some kind of message, because when people meet me, if they get kind of close enough, they'll know that what sort of values are and what kind of drives.
Talking of hats,
and they also get to meet the sparrows that live in your beard.
Indeed.
Talking of hats, does anyone in the chat remember going back to the late 70s, early 80s, carnivals and sort of fairs? You used to get them paper hats that were like printed and like cut out at the top with a peak, and they were like a sheet of paper, and you just put them down on your head, and it was like a hat with a peak. Do you know it, Dave?
If you created that, man.
It was like die cut. It was a sheet of card.
You just created that in your mind, haven't you?
No, I haven't, because I used to have loads of them. And like carnivals, it'd
just
be like
found them in the attic.
No,
Mum and Dad's attic,
I might make them. What is it? 150 quid for a die. Big. Oh, I've had an idea. Oh my God, I've had an idea.
Website for that.
Danny, I've got a metal detecting question for you off Alex Savage. What detector do you use, and do you grid the field or sporadically detect?
Man, and you'll see in the book about some stuff about detecting in sporadic fashion. I do try to be. Have you ever been out detecting and you want to be really kind of like in that little zone in your grid, and you want to kind of cover every
It
inch.
doesn't last.
And then your mate's like over here, and you dragged off into the distance. I think that sort of analytical and strategic approach for me, and like I said at the beginning, I've had the fortune of working with so many groups and clubs that even when somebody just goes, "Hey, try this thing," and you're like, "Ooh, hammered coin," and they're like, "How have you managed that?" You know, things like, for example, the XP Deus, when that first came out, and I managed to have a go with that. A lot of the Mind Lab detectors I've had a go at, but even still, had some really good finds, like you said, with the old Garrett. So I've had a fortune of having access to a big bunch of detectors. I am very analytical and sort of trying to do this strategic. What have I got at the moment? There's a bunch of stuff in my storage unit which actually needs to be used. But I am seeking, maybe if a few folks buy the book, maybe to get my hands on one of the newer models that are emerging on the market right now, because you guys know that technology is moving so fast, right? That there are some very interesting developments, and certainly a world apart from where we even were 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Speak to him, Danny. Speak to him.
I've only ever had one metal detector, and
A week.
Yeah, no, it is moving on.
He's a field tester for Treasure Hunting magazine, so all the latest technologies Adrian plays with and reviews.
Yeah. When it's ready.
It's kind of same in the fishing, and people will send me stuff, and like a box of baits just arrived for the adventure next week, and I'm like, oh man, I've got so many choices.
Maggots.
It's not maggots. No, just boilies and dry stuff. So I'm glad that's not crawling all over the kitchen, or it might not have been flowers on the shelf.
Yeah, that's the kids.
When I was 11, right? When I was 11, and we didn't have the internet.
You were never 11.
And I can remember I got into fishing, and I got a copy. I think I used to get Course Fisherman or something like that. And then one day they didn't have it in the newsagents, so I got carp fishing or something. And I started reading it. I thought, oh my God, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I'm going to give it a go. So I got some bread in my mum's kitchen, mixed it up, put some pink food dye in it, bit of aniseed, I think, and live maggots. And then I put them in the oven and cooked it. What on earth was going on in my head? And my mum came home and she said, what's that? No, first thing she said is, what's that smell? And I pulled this tray out. She said, what are you making? And it's like cooked maggots in bread. But I used it as bait, and I might have caught a roach or something. But yeah, it was quite bizarre. But more importantly, I've just got to say thank you to Ange and Ian Greenall. They remember the paper hats I'm talking about. And I don't know why they've not come back with all the issues of plastic and everything and the global warming. You could have these paper hats and wear them in the sun to protect yourself. I'm going to make some. James, Eagle Eye DJ, used to go down the wreck and catch goldfish. Yes, I used to go fishing for goldfish in our local park. But that's another thing, James.
Some of these things are like this big. They've been in there for that long, where somebody's like...
Oh, they're huge. Shabumpkins. I've never seen as... Shabumpkins, huge in the park, because they're getting fed.
Wasn't that a song in Family Guy?
I've never watched Family Guy. People tell me I should watch it, but I've still got a black and white telly.
It's very, very our humour, Adrian.
Yeah, I've heard it is. Yeah.
Danny, we are nearly out of time. So before we go, can you give a rundown again of the deal that you're offering at Metal Detecting Club?
So just literally for this show until midnight, you can get the printed copy of the book, which is full of secrets. So you go out there and find more stuff. Also talks a lot about etiquette and talks about the strategies and things that I would use. But this is taken from working with loads and loads and loads of different people up and down the country. Done a lot of work with clubs. So you get the printed version, but you're also not only just going to get one printed copy, you're actually going to get a numbered version, and there's only 50 available. Now, I'm hoping that there's still some left, right? So if you go to the link on the screen, metal-detecting.club/MD print, you get this. We're also going to give you the digital copy. You'll get an email. You can create your members area account. You get the digital copy in there, but we're also going to go a step further than that and give you the landowner letters and the risk assessment and the script that you can use to actually go and get yourself more permission, but not just get permission, actually keep the permission, so you can go out detecting and you can make the most of your hobby without a sort of fear of rejection and some of the common problems. So we've bundled a big bunch of stuff together. Obviously, you can get our access to our Facebook group and page as well. All of that's going to come out in the email. And when you go into that members area, you will get instant access to all of that stuff. There's a big bundle of things that we've lined up, and it's worth about 230 quid worth in value. We're doing it for £21. So you get the printed book, you get the digital book, you get MD monthly. So every month we're going to send out a newsletter and more information as well. The land grab script, the risk assessment, the landowner letters, membership account. You get the bonuses as well, which we've thrown in especially for this. So you're going to get the free guide as well that we've had running for a while. We've updated that for 2023. We're also entering everybody into a competition, and we're going to ship this thing for you, recorded delivery, so nobody's like, hey, this thing's not arrived. So that even costs. Have you seen the price of recorded delivery these days? All of that stuff does add up, and we're doing it all for you guys. 21 quid on the show tonight. But the thing is, there's less than, like 3 hours left or something like that to get this, couple of hours. The timer will expire, and once it's gone, it's gone. So click the link below, watch the video, check it out. You'll see what you get on the page, and you take it or leave it, right? But like we said earlier, you can't get fish and chips twice for 21 quid. If all this does is get you one more permission, and then you go to that permission, like you said with the book earlier, right? One coin that you've found and identified is worth more than you've invested in that book. If you get one permission, what's that worth? So we've really piled on the value. I hope you guys, and I love to see what you guys think of this when you get it, and hopefully you go out there and you do more with your time and more time in the field and enjoy the hobby more. So it's been a pleasure being on the show, and it's great to see that you guys have bought into this. I can't thank you enough.
I think also thanks, Danny, those who are listening in their car tomorrow morning driving to work, because with the interwebs, people obviously listen to the show on YouTube through their car, not watch it because that's dangerous. But we do have a lot of people who re-listen to the show, don't we, Dave? So if they've missed out, Danny, on tonight's deal, they can still go to www.metal-detecting.club and they can still sign up, can't they?
Yeah, they can still get the digital copy on there. So the link is exactly the same link, but it's /MD-secrets. If you just want to get the digital copy, that's going to cost you 9 quid. And then if you do want to add the letters and the other bits and pieces, you'd have to kind of upgrade. So it kind of makes sense to just go on there and grab the whole thing for £21 rather than spend like 50 on it or something like that tomorrow. That's the deal. And look, too late will be the cry when this thing has passed you by. That's the old adage that people shout from those market stalls where they said I should be. Check it out, and you'll get the printed copy. It's numbered. You guys, if it just gets you one more permission or one more find, it's worth
good stuff.
The investment.
A nice comment there from Will Wade. Great show again, lads, and really enjoyed the positive energy and enthusiasm from Danny. And again, can't thank you enough for people who do say nice things. I'm not used to them. Another great Thursday night. It's like being down the pub with your mates. Thank you very much.
Exactly how we want the show to be. For those of you who are sitting at home who are bored, who don't like football or whatever, and that's what it is for me and Dave. We are mates down the pub virtually. So if
imagine if we were actually in a pub together, Adrian. What a mess that'd be.
No, why don't we have the big detecting show live in a pub one day, and everyone who watches the show can come and join in?
Yeah, or we go to the pub and do a live show. Me in one pub up here, and you in one pub down there.
That wouldn't go very well.
It'd be hilarious, though, wouldn't it?
I'd be taking my clothes off. I'd get arrested. Totally.
Hey, last time you were drunk on the show, you were jumping in the pool semi-naked in Cyprus.
Yeah. It's our highest viewed show. If anyone wants to watch it on YouTube, it's ridiculous. Thousands of people. I don't know why. And my son bombing in the background. But yeah, it was our biggest ever show, wasn't it? I don't know why. But I had drunk 5 litres or so of red wine. So yeah. But Danny, thank you very much for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
It's been
Danny.
awesome. Thank you.
Right, we will see you all the same time, same place next week. We do have a number of guests lined up. We're just setting dates for them. We do have the 6th of April's guest, where Adrian won't be here, and we'll have the lovely Mr. Shane Holdcroft stepping in for the night, and we'll be joined by Christine Fitton that night. So if anybody does want to come on the show, please give us a shout. Alex, contact me. Michelle Val, contact me, and we'll organise dates. Sid Perry, contact me. I'm going to bother you forever. Danny, again, thank you very much. Everybody, thank you for watching. Adrian, love you to bits. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Hey.